On November 16, 2012, a call was made to 911 in Willoughby Hills, Ohio.
911, what is your emergency? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Hello? What is going on? Who has a knife?
My sister, and I just woke up because I heard yelling.
Okay, this is your sister?
Yeah, and she's doing my mom with a knife. May you please tell me?
She's doing what to your mom with the knife? You need to take a deep breath for me so I can understand you.
No, I did. She's going to kill my mom.
When the police arrived on scene, 18-year-old Sabrina Zunich was walking out of her house, still holding a kitchen knife. Inside the home, the body of Lisa Knafill was discovered with almost 200 knife wounds covering her entire body. Sabrina was arrested and the investigation into the homicide began. Sabrina had been a foster child her entire life. She had been diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. She frequently got into fights at school, and she struggled to learn and follow the rules. At the age of 16, Sabrina was placed with Kevin and Lisa Knafill, and she moved into their home in Willoughby Hills, Ohio. The Knafills already had 2 daughters, and Sabrina seemed to fit in well with them. Everything was looking up for Sabrina until her foster father Kevin began showing her more attention. During the summer of 2012, Sabrina and Kevin began a relationship that they kept hidden from the rest of the family. Sabrina had fallen for Kevin, so even though she had turned 18 and she didn't have to stay, she continued living with the Knafills. Kevin and his wife would argue about this often, and they even talked about divorce. Kevin had an $800,000 life insurance policy on his wife, and if they were to get divorced, he wouldn't receive any of the money. The police believe that even though Kevin was nowhere near the home when the incident took place, that he was the reason she was dead. Detectives on the case tried to interview Kevin, but he made sure to get himself a lawyer.
Were you and Lisa in the process of going through a divorce?
Okay, now we're getting outside the scope.
Are you going to talk to us about any of the situations that led up to what happened?
When I talked to Detective Parmenter, he said he wanted to interview him about work, which, I thought was probably a pretext.
Okay.
But, everybody knows where she worked.
Well, we never got to talk at length about the sequence of events and what happened, and that's what we're just trying to talk about.
Well, we're just trying to figure out what happened that night. His wife was brutally murdered here, and we're trying to help him, help us. He can help us in the investigation.
He wasn't within 100 miles of the house when that happened.
I understand that, but he was with them prior to leaving the house, so he can discuss what what the house was like prior to him leaving.
And we came down to talk to you about what you asked us to talk about. I asked you specifically on the phone what the subject matter was.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
We didn't have to come down. I told you.
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely.
But, we're not going to get into the relationship between Kevin and Lisa. It's just you got a bloody girl with a bloody knife.
You know what? I apologize for wasting your time then, because.
Well, how about your relationship with any of the other children in the household? I mean, how about your relationship with Sabrina? You didn't discuss anything with that?
No.
Kevin?
No.
I mean, you can feel free to talk.
He's got a lawyer sitting right next to him.
I understand, but he can still say what he wants to say.
Except that we're not going to answer any more questions.
Okay, we're done here then.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Is there anything we need to know? Appreciate it. All right, see you later.
The police would get a second opportunity to interview Kevin, which we have included later in this video. For now, the police hoped that Sabrina would have more to say about why she took Lisa's life. After she received medical attention, Sabrina was brought in for interrogation.
What do you recall?
From yesterday?
Getting
done with my homework, getting Tylenol, and that's it. And going to bed.
And we're at home? Would anything unusual happen?
I don't know. Everything went fine according to what I knew of.
What happened?
Starting from
Starting from when you got home from school yesterday.
No. I got home, I went to drive home. Then we had hamburger helper. And then I went back to doing my homework. Stayed doing our homework till like 1. I went upstairs, no, it was like 12. Went upstairs, tried to go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep, so I went to go get some Advil. Ibuprofen. Because my head hurts, because I have really bad headaches. I don't really feel like it. And after that,
Where did you take ibuprofen from?
in they sang Kevin's bathroom. That's
Where?
where it's held. Kevin and Lisa's bedroom. That's where it's held.
Was Lisa still awake?
I don't know. I just remember going in there, having the bottle, starting to shake it to get the meds, and then gone from there. Thank you.
Okay. Do you remember what the bottle said?
Ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen?
White, and there was orange around it.
Okay.
Are you allowed in that bathroom?
Only, to get Advil or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I call it Advil. It's always
Right.
ibuprofen. Other than that, no. Not unless they're there or, we're told to.
So what did Lisa say to you then, when she saw you in there?
Don't know. I don't know if
You
Lisa
didn't
will-
hear us?
No. I don't remember anything at that point on.
What do you remember?
Everything except,
Were you taking any illegal narcotics yesterday?
no. Don't do drugs.
You don't do drugs? When was the last time you did drugs?
3.5 years ago.
3.5 years ago? Okay. You have not had any illegal drugs since then? Okay. You were at home all night yesterday? Okay. After you ate dinner, did you have this opportunity to say goodbye to Kevin?
I was at the computer desk.
You're at the computer
I
desk?
don't know. I went to the living room also because I was printing my bracelet. I mean, I was in the living room, I was in the kitchen, and I was in the office. That's it. Excuse me. I mean, I believe so. Yeah, he just said bye because he always says bye to everybody.
Okay.
And we either say bye to Bella, Billy kisses him. Well,
Okay. You had an argument or anything with Lisa last night?
no,
No?
everything was fine. From what
Everything's
I
fine?
know.
Okay. Have you had these type of issues in the past where you just don't remember things?
I'm not positive. I mean, I know I was in other group homes. When I was in a fight with other people, I blacked out.
You mentioned you've had at your group home incidences where you blacked out. Have those been physical?
What do you mean?
Like, did you get in fights? People?
Yeah, but it wasn't me hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a blow to the head, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Stand full with my head.
Have you hit people before and not
And I remembered it?
Like, in the blackout? Yes. But not, I don't start fights.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since my first group home, I was 14. I stopped fighting ever since then.
What do you think happened to your hands?
I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm being charged with homicide.
Well, we're
Correct.
investigating it.
I remember.
I'm pretty sure you do.
ambulance.
Yeah.
And then,
Remember what you were doing prior to getting to the ambulance?
no,
In Lisa's room?
getting meds. For my headache. And if I don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina claims that she doesn't remember what she did, and she has no idea why her hands are bandaged. If this is true, then she doesn't know Lisa is dead, and the detectives can use her reaction to finding out to see if she is telling the truth.
How do you get along with Kevin?
Kevin and me are cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's more the one that helps me out.
Mm-hmm.
Because this has Megan to deal with. Megan has mental instabilities herself.
Okay.
And so we made agreements a long time ago that if I need anything, that I could go to Kevin. And if it was major that she needed to be involved in, then he would ask, but not to be concerned about small things. Because it's already stressing her out. It's her job, and Haley, and Megan.
How about, with Lisa? How are you dealing with her?
Me and Lisa have never been the best. I mean, I've never tried to hurt her, never had any thoughts of hurting her. Yeah, it's been emotional and mental abuse from her to me. She put her hands on me, not fighting, but restraining me because I wouldn't give an iPod to her. And I don't know. I don't know. She never seemed to like me, and she's been wanting me out of the house.
What's your thoughts on how Lisa is not alive now?
What?
What are your thoughts on that she is not alive? Maybe you didn't understand. That's what we're talking to you about.
She's me.
She's dead.
You should have told me I did it.
Yes.
Most of that blood was probably hers.
That's why we need you to concentrate and think about what happened. There's always two sides to every story, and we want to know what you had to say about it. And we know you were there. You know, there were officers that got to the house after they were called. So we just need you to focus on what happened. You know you were doing homework, and you know you got yourself to the bedroom to get the medicine. What you need to do now is bring it all together and think real hard about maybe what happened next. And then that'll explain how you got some wounds to your hands. Okay?
I've never been a murderer.
We need to know, that's why we're asking you to think about it. We need to know how to help you, okay? We don't know that until we need to get some facts and find out what's going on. And that'll give us the best course on how to proceed from here and help you, help the family, and go on from there.
What do you want me to eat?
We don't want you to say anything except the truth, and we just want you to think about it, because something happened by the time you were getting your meds in the bathroom there for your headache. And then one of our police officers arriving. So something happened in between that time, and we're just trying to get to the truth of that and find out what happened.
I don't know. This is really dead.
Yes, dead. Sorry. And
Do you have a blanket already, or none? You don't have a blanket? Oh my gosh. How'd that happen?
Do you want to know what I can tell you what's going to happen from here right now? I mean, do you have questions for me? I mean, you right, David?
Yeah.
I mean, or for right now, we're still doing our investigation, but you're under arrest. You know, Lisa's dead, and it appears that you're responsible for that at this time. So that's what the charge is going to be. But at that point, you're going to spend the weekend in jail, the county jail. We're not going to stay here all weekend. All right? And you'll have a court hearing probably on Monday. And at that time, they'll look to see if you have a bond and what to do. All right, for you.
While Sabrina was in jail, Kevin spent most of the life insurance money. He paid off his home, bought cars, purchased another home in Florida, and even took flying lessons. Sabrina started to feel like Kevin didn't want her anymore, so in August of 2013, she agreed to testify against Kevin for his role in Lisa's death. Sabrina claimed that Kevin had used her love for him to manipulate her. The day before the incident, Kevin was driving Sabrina to school when he stopped the car to talk to her. He began to cry and he told her that he would end his own life if Lisa wasn't dead.
Basically, he convinced me that I wouldn't get caught. We'd pretend like nothing happened. We wouldn't know a robber broke in, make it seem like, tumble the jewelry box and leave the door open, hide the knife, or it was supposed to be a gun. We were supposed to go to a shooting range the weekend of what happened. But Lisa got mad when he told her because she wanted to go along. You don't spend any more time with me. You're spending too much time with her. And so that didn't happen because it happened before. If I went to the shooting range and know how to use a gun, then it would have happened with a pistol that his uncle gave to him, wasn't registered in his name, couldn't be followed back to him. I was like, okay, well then just do it with a knife. And he was like, you want to get that up and close and personal? Like, you want to be that personal?
So was your suggestion you use a knife instead of a gun?
Correct. He had me convinced it was only going to be like 25 years and he would be there for me afterwards and that he would bail me out if it were that you got caught or anything. And I told him, look, you do know I'm risking my whole life, everything that I've done, getting my high school diploma, being able to do everything that I was planning on doing in life. And he was like, well, this is all on you. I had full trust in him. I don't know, and I don't trust people. I've never been in love before, and so I don't want to say that's what I blame it on, but that's the only thing I could think of that would completely blind me from all the hints that were dropped, all the what are you doing, is this not wrong type thing. Because before, I was a manipulator, and I was beat at my own game. That doesn't happen. I was blinded. From getting the life insurance that he had on her, $750 and we would either get a new house, sell the one we had, pay off the trailer or the cars, whatever, and then either get a house or build a new one. It was all planned out. Me and you will have a perfect relationship. Haley can be raised the way she needed to be. Me and you would have a perfect house, and you'd have everything you'd want. You'd go to college. It was all going to be a perfect lifestyle.
So what made you decide to tell us about Kevin?
Because for some reason, I'm religious and the truth prevails. And for me to go down for this when I wasn't the only one involved, it didn't seem right. And when you start thinking with your head and not your heart, you realize if somebody loved you, they wouldn't let you go down like that.
Using Sabrina's testimony, Kevin was indicted and arrested and brought in for interrogation.
I want to get your side of the story, and I want it to be truthful. When I go back to my bosses and they're going to ask me if you were truthful, if you gave us a statement as to what we already know, and if you're remorseful for being involved in this. So.
Okay. Obviously, Kevin, Mr. Walt told you some things that we have an indictment against you. Okay, and we would like you to talk to us to give us some insight on some things. We have a lot of facts as to your involvement in this case, and we would like to know your side of the story on what happened.
Why don't you start at the beginning, Kevin? When did Sabrina come into the house, and how did that all unfold that you became the caretaker? You and Lisa.
Kevin explains the events leading up to Sabrina becoming their foster child. At first, she struggled with the rules, but then Kevin says he made her a deal. If she was good, she could stay with the family.
Better straighten up, she better start listening, she better not be smoking.
I laid it on the line from her from the get-go, telling her that what we were willing to do to help her, As long as she followed the program, she was more than welcome to stay in her house, even after she was out of care, as long as she stayed in school and followed the program. But then I also told her, I said, as I do with my kids, if you don't follow the rules of the program, then you're out the door.
And how did she take that conversation?
She liked the fact that we were willing to let her stay with us. Because she was really nervous and worried about being out on her own.
What was Lisa part of this discussion, or was it just you and Sabrina?
No, it was always all three of us.
Okay. All right. So you and Lisa had a discussion with Sabrina within the first month. She goes to this Lake Academy or something similar over there at the Willoughby Tech Center for her 10th grade year. How are things in the home during that time period? Like, do you need to talk to Sabrina anymore?
On and off.
On and off? Okay. And how was she during Christmas?
Okay. I'm excited.
What was the relationship now with Sabrina and Lisa and you? How's everything gelling?
And Megan and Haley.
Yeah, the family unit. How's everything gelling?
Had its good days and had its bad days.
Tell us about the good days.
The good days, everything went smooth. There was no problems. Kids did what they needed to do.
Harmony in the home?
Yeah.
Tell us about the bad days.
Bad days. You started out with Megan and Sabrina getting into it. Or Sabrina either not getting her way about something and reacting to that, or doing something wrong and having to be gotten after.
And who would step in and correct her? Would it be you or would it be Lisa?
It was equal.
Okay.
It got to the point to where Lisa got really frustrated, and so we made a decision for Lisa to just deal with Megan, and I dealt with Sabrina.
At what point, when did that decision happen?
I couldn't tell you.
Sabrina listened to you more? You had more influence on her?
I don't know if I'd say that, but
as opposed to Lisa? Who had the...
I was able to get through to her better, I believe.
So obviously when you talked, she listened. Whereas Lisa, she talked and all she heard was wah, 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 wah.
Probably a good analogy. Yeah.
But the relationship between Sabrina and Megan, my kids grew up together, and they love each other now, but that's like typical sisters or...
that's how it was.
Brothers and sisters,
They would be like oil and water, and the next thing you know, they're doing the hair and makeup together, and hanging out, and having fun, and it was just mind-boggling.
So, if you could elaborate more on how your relationship with Sabrina developed and evolved. Remember, Kevin, we asked you for the truth when we came here.
If we're getting into all this stuff, aren't I supposed to have my lawyer?
Well, you know, that we explained to you when he read you your rights. But also, we asked you for three things. I asked you for the truth. I wanted to hear your side of the story. And we needed to talk to you. This is the time to clear the air. So.
Well, yeah.
It's your decision. You know you have a choice in the matter.
Well, I already have an attorney on record. I think he should be here for all this.
Well, like I say,
I'm only going to say the truth. I'm not going to lie about anything.
Right. That's what I asked you for when we came in here. And you know we have the evidence. I have an 11-count indictment here. And I wanted to discuss the whole thing with you, the whole puzzle. You know, each piece of the puzzle we put together for the last 8 months. And we have the evidence. So, I mean, we are going to go forward with this, as you know, and as we are going forward with it now. The part you just asked me about, that's your decision, and that's, I wanted to work with you if I could, but, you know, I can't talk to you then. So, you're at the Y in the road, you have to make a decision, you know. But I thought we had a good conversation going.
Your choice to make, Calvin.
Well, we do. It's,
So you just have to let us know what your decision is.
I should have the lawyer before we proceed.
Okay. Are you asking for an attorney at this point in time? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kick your shoes off for me. Patch it down. Just put your hands right on the wall. All right, come with me.
Kevin showed no sympathy or regret during his trial. Kevin was found guilty and he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. After hearing Kevin's sentence, his lawyer told the judge that he believed the jury's decision was absurd. This made the judge very angry.
Mr. Knavel maintains his innocence. For the state to suggest that Sabrina Zunick is a victim in this case is as absurd as the jury verdict.
I do not feel that their verdict was absurd, but to say that the efforts of those 12 people is absurd, I take great offense to. I think they did their job. I realize that's not why we're here, but since you put it on the record and you brought that issue before the public, I think it needs to be soundly pointed out that it is just simply wrong.
Well, Your Honor, you can't call me out on the record without giving me an opportunity to respond.
Connick, watch me.
Well, Your Honor,
Mr. Connick, I have spoken. I have told you you had an opportunity to speak.
Excuse me, Mr. Zanella just said, fuck you to me, Your Honor.
Sabrina pled guilty to murder, and she too received life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Sabrina's lawyers argued that she never would have done what she did if it wasn't for Kevin manipulating her into doing it. They claim that Kevin had instructed her on how to kill Lisa, which included how to make it look like a burglary. Kevin told her if she was to get caught, that she should claim insanity or self-defense. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this case. Lisa had almost 200 knife wounds throughout her body. Did Sabrina take her life only because of Kevin's manipulation? Or is Sabrina a monster and Kevin just gave her an excuse to do what she already wanted to do?